Have you ever found yourself acting out in ways that surprised, even scared you? Saying things in anger you didn't mean? Pushing people away when you desperately wanted connection? Most of us think mental health is about managing emotions or changing thought patterns. And while that's part of the picture, it leaves out something deeper: the unconscious forces that shape us without our awareness. What if your anxiety isn't just a chemical imbalance, but the voice of a part of you you've silenced? What if your depression holds a message? What if healing isn't about becoming better, but about becoming whole? This is where shadow work enters the conversation, a profound psychological practice rooted in the work of Carl Jung and increasingly finding its way into modern therapeutic practices. Welcome to the unfolding journey. This channel explores the hidden dimensions of psychology, spirituality, and personal growth. We go beyond surface-level advice and dig deep into the unconscious, the symbolic, and the archetypal. If you're interested in therapy, transformation, or simply understanding yourself more deeply, you're in the right place. Now, let's explore how shadow work, an idea that began in early 20th century psychoanalysis, is becoming a vital part of 21st century mental health. Carl Jung introduced the idea of the shadow as the unconscious part of the psyche that contains everything we repress, deny, or disown: our anger, jealousy, fears, shame, trauma, and impulses. But the shadow also contains strengths, creativity, boundaries, and instincts we've buried to fit in or survive. To confront a person with their shadow is to show them their own light. Carl Jung. Shadow work is the ongoing process of becoming aware of, understanding, and integrating these parts, not just intellectually, but emotionally and somatically. It's about moving from fragmentation to wholeness. Contemporary mental health practices have come a long way, from Freud's couch to evidence-based therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, dialectical behavior therapy, DBT, mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, somatic experiencing, EMDR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. These methods are powerful, but there's often a gap. They focus on symptom management, but not always on deeper meaning or unconscious drives. That's where shadow work adds depth. Instead of asking, "How do I stop feeling this way?" it asks, "What is this feeling trying to show me?" Instead of eliminating the darkness, we engage it, to understand its origins and reclaim lost parts of ourselves. Let's explore how Jung's shadow work integrates with and enhances today's mental health tools. 1. In trauma therapy. Trauma often creates split-off parts of the self that carry fear, shame, or rage. These become shadow parts, disowned and buried. In modalities like IFS, internal family systems, and somatic experiencing, clients are encouraged to befriend these exiled parts. This is pure Jung, integrating the shadow rather than suppressing it. Shadow work helps clients acknowledge pain without judgment, reclaim their agency, understand their triggers not as flaws but as signals. 2. In CBT and thought work. CBT helps clients reframe distorted thoughts. But Jungian shadow work asks, where did those thoughts come from? For example, "I'm not good enough" isn't just a thought, it's a narrative formed by a younger part of the self. Instead of disputing it, shadow work may invite that younger self into conversation. This deeper exploration can lead to core healing, not just cognitive reframing. 3. In emotion regulation. DBT teaches emotional regulation skills, which are life-changing for many. Shadow work adds another layer, inviting the emotion as a teacher, not just a problem to fix. Example: if you constantly feel angry, shadow work asks, what boundary is being crossed? What part of you learned to suppress anger to stay safe? This turns raw emotion into wisdom and healing. 4. In spiritual and existential therapy. Many people today face existential anxiety, a sense of meaninglessness or disconnection. Jung's idea of individuation, the lifelong process of becoming your whole self, offers a framework for deep healing. Shadow work isn't just psychological, it's also spiritual. It asks, who am I really? What part of me am I hiding? What does my suffering point toward? These are the questions that move therapy beyond fixing and into transformation. Let's look at a few fictional but realistic scenarios to ground this in practice. Sarah always puts others first, at work, in relationships, in family. She's anxious, tired, and resentful. Through shadow work, she realizes she's suppressed her anger and needs for decades. She feared being seen as selfish. Shadow work in therapy helps Sarah reconnect with her assertiveness, express needs without guilt, Rewrite the childhood script that told her she had to earn love. Marcus is a high performer, but he's secretly haunted by self-doubt. He overworks and can't rest. Shadow work reveals a rejected inner child who never felt good enough. A critical voice inherited from a perfectionist parent. Therapy helps Marcus integrate vulnerability and redefine success, not as proving worth, but as living authentically. Shadow work can be intense. It should always be approached with care, and ideally with professional support. Here are some safe ways to begin. 1. Journaling prompts. What traits do I dislike in others? What emotions do I avoid at all costs? What would I never want someone to say about me? These often point to shadow projections. 2. Dream analysis. Keep a dream journal. Look for recurring symbols, threatening or mysterious figures, emotional themes. These are often messages from the shadow. 3. Somatic awareness. Notice where emotions live in your body. The body often holds shadow material. Breathe into those places. Ask, what's here? What does it want me to know? 4. Therapeutic support. Find a therapist familiar with Jungian or depth psychology, internal family systems, IFS, somatic or trauma-informed approaches. Shadow work is best done with guidance. It can stir deep emotional waters. We live in a world that encourages perfection over authenticity, productivity over introspection, politeness over truth. But ignoring the shadow leads to anxiety, depression, projection and blame, relationship issues, burnout. Shadow work isn't about becoming flawless. It's about becoming whole. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. Carl Jung. Mental health isn't just the absence of symptoms. It's the presence of self-awareness, agency, and inner alignment. Incorporating Jungian shadow work into modern therapy isn't about rejecting science. It's about deepening it. It brings meaning to our suffering and turns symptoms into signals. As we embrace our shadow, we reclaim parts of ourselves we've lost to fear, shame, or survival. And in doing so, we become more than healed, we become whole. Thank you for watching this exploration into shadow work and modern mental health. If this video helped you see yourself or therapy in a new light, I invite you to white heavy checkmark subscribe to The Unfolding Journey. Hit the bell for weekly videos on psychology, transformation, and healing. Speech balloon, let me know in the comments. What part of your shadow are you learning to embrace? Until next time, keep looking inward and keep unfolding.